Hey, Next Gen Millionaires, what is going on this week? Coming at you, not live this week. I don't know, reasons. Things were crazy. But let's do this. Again, what I want to talk to you about this week, and all kind of ties in. It's very interesting sometimes when we look at pieces, things piecing together and all that fun stuff. Anyways, so I want to look at this week really like how chaos really can be used as a tool in our lives and not as a deterrent or something to allow us to fall apart. That's simply put. A lot of people are going to be like, Joe, chaos is not good. We should never have chaos in our lives. That means things are out of control, and we don't like out of control. We want things to be not out of control. We want them to be in order. And I would 100% agree with you most of the time. That's why I say chaos can be used as a tool, right? The other word that a lot of people like using for chaos is disruption. Disruption is good, right? You look at any industry, and when you find some people who disrupt the industries, you can find innovation and things come out of that. So, some thoughts around chaos this week, okay? And all spawned from a conversation I was having yesterday with somebody, right? And it's what I always go to, right? When we look at overall our lives, right? And in our lives, we kind of find a rhythm. And the rhythm is important because there's a lot of things we don't have to think about when we're in that rhythm, right? When we look at a lot of personal development work, right? We're trying to undo some of those programs or rhythms that we're used to doing, right? A lot of old programmings, a lot of old stories, a lot of old behaviors, right? And so when you work with me, we're going to attack those things when it comes to money, right? Your money stories, your money behaviors, how do your numbers make you feel, right? What are the emotions that come up? All these different things. But when we look at life, right, what happens is we have the results we have because we've been doing what we've been doing. And then enters Joe in your life, right? And I want to cause always a little bit of chaos or disruption, right? And use it as a tool to help disrupt that kind of status quo, that comfortable space. Because that comfortable space is not getting you what you want, right? So when we look at chaos, when we look at all the crazy things that can happen in our lives, right? We want to kind of start controlling that a little bit. We don't want to cause more of it, right? And that can happen sometimes. But when we look at like what is happening, sometimes there's some chaos and some disruption that has to happen for us to start looking at things differently, for us to start getting different results, okay? So I want you to just hold on to that for a minute, because a lot of people like continue to push back. And there are some are curious, right? When I start saying chaos is necessary for growth. And like, well, why, Joe? Like, that doesn't seem right. It seems kind of counterintuitive, right? And when you work with me and my clients, I'll throw little things out there, right? I'll have them look at their numbers weekly when they usually haven't done that. I'll have them talk to money, right? That's another big one. It seems weird. But what happens is their brain starts to get disrupted a bit. And we start to see things we didn't see before because we're not just focused so much on what we had, okay? So disruption and chaos can happen. And when it does, and when we use it as a tool, that's what I want to like really drive home. When we use it as a tool, when we use it as a mechanism to help us find a new order, then it can be very helpful, right? If you take a look at like, so when I was growing up, every year in the summertime or late spring, like early summer, right, the growing season, we had this plot of land next to my grandmother, and we would plant a garden on it. And it was a 1/4 acre lot of land, so we would plant actually a really big garden. But you think about it, and as you're coming out of winter, right, into the springtime, and in the spring kind of into summer, and when the planting season starts, right, you really can't go out there and just like start planting, right? You have to prepare the ground. There has to be some disruption, right? So my dad had this tractor that had the old school tractor, right, with the plows on the end, right, and those big blades that were curved, and they'd like cut under the earth and turn it over, right? And then we'd take a rototiller and till all down so it was nice planting material. In our lives, we kind of need to do the same, right? When we're looking at how we've been, we have to disrupt the place that we've been kind of like the ground, right? We got to till it over and move it around so we can get those super rich nutrients at the top, right? And have ground that's not hard, but that's soft so we can plant seeds and plants in them. Our lives are no different, right? They really aren't. So as we continue to look at what we need to do to up-level our lives, I would encourage you to start looking at some disruptive mechanisms that can help you achieve your next goal. Okay? Look for a little bit of chaos, because there's always chaos, and it's up to us to figure out what's actually happening and if it's helpful or if it's harmful, because there's both, right? And it's how we respond to the chaos is really where the true power lies. We can fall apart, we can stop what we're doing, we can give up, or we can look and say, okay, what part of my life is this trying to disrupt, and how is it going to help me get to my next goal? Because that's the end goal. Like that's really what we should be looking at. How is it helping us reach that next goal, right? Sometimes life just happens. Like at the beginning of June of 2021 this year, our sweet dog passed away, right? And he'd been with us for 13 and a half years. And that's some disruption and some chaos. And I'm not saying he had to pass away for something to happen. So don't start going down that route. Too many people go down that route. It's just dumb. He's old, okay? But it disrupted some things in our lives, and we up-leveled. We changed some things, right? Business will happen. You'll have good months. You'll have bad months. What do we do when that happens? What do you do when that happens? Because we all have kind of that go-to action that we take, right? We become very reactive, especially when there's a lot of chaos. So really my charge for you and what I want you to try this week is, as you start watching the chaos and things happen in your life, right? That disruption that happens, pause for a moment and say, what's going on and how can I leverage this to get to where I want to go? Don't let it stop you. Don't let it hold you back. Don't let it prevent you from moving forward. Use it as a catalyst to help you get there. Because when you do, it then becomes a very potent tool in your arsenal that will help you continually to get to where you want to go. It'll help you make more money each month. It'll help you start to create that legacy and that impact that you really want. But when we allow it to run our lives instead of us using it as a tool, then it starts to destroy, and it's not good, right? Again, we stop, we don't take action. We let it. We throw the towel in per se, right? We're like, oh, maybe this business idea is not a good idea. I'm just gonna throw it in. No, really look at it. Phone a friend if you have to, right? Talk to somebody. Be like, hey, this is what I'm feeling, but I'm not sure. Because that's one thing that is hard. Like when the chaos starts, it's hard to see outside. It's like being in a storm. It's really hard to say, hey, when's the storm gonna end? Right? So it's very interesting as I see and use chaos as a tool to help my clients. Like I said, this conversation kind of sparked from a conversation I had the other day about that disruption and kind of putting some things out there, and this person freaked out a little bit, right? Wasn't sure, disrupted the whole state of being and what they had, the plan and what they thought they were going to do next. The cool thing, though, is I help them up-level with their money story and help them see a different aspect of how they interact with money. And so now they're going to do something different next time. So it was useful. Okay, so find that in your life. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be shameful of it. But just understand what's happening and start to just pay attention. Don't let it consume you, because it can. And when we use it to empower us, it can be a very, very helpful tool to help us get to the next level. So just my thoughts on using chaos as a tool, or that disruption in your life as a tool. Again, don't let it consume you, but use it as a way to help motivate you to that next level, right? To up-level whatever it is that you're working on today. And if it's money, then we need to have a conversation, because I definitely can help you. And there's a lot of disruption and trauma and chaos around money, even for those who've been working on it for a while. So there you have it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you later. Bye.